To the people in the medical field, I have a serious question for you. Do you get some sort of sick, perverted pleasure out of causing people anguish? Because I experience that quite often. Today was a prime example. Um, I went into my doctor's appointment. I'm having a really, really bad day today mentally, um, emotionally. Monday, I talked to the doctor, and he gave me some bad news. Basically, told me that despite the fact that there's always new procedures and techniques and studies and all of this coming out, to keep up hope, keep up faith, and when I come to him and show him exactly what he says to keep on a lookout for. He unilaterally decides that I don't get to pursue that option. Um, the justification isn't important. The result is, and there may be it may be a insurance thing. It may be a policy issue, um, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you know my hope was taken away. Um, my choice was taken away from me. Today, normally they want me to see the doctor, even if it's just for a couple of moments, and I'd let it be known repeatedly that I'm having a very emotional day. I'm having a day that honestly I debated really long and hard about just canceling my appointment today, because I'm in a real bad state, and I knew that I was going to have to. They were going to want me to see the doctor, and I asked them, repeatedly to not see the doctor. We can deal with it tomorrow. They can deal with my wife. She's my medical proxy. It's in my paperwork that she's my medical proxy. And they said, no problem. I told them that, the only thing I was interested in today, the only thing I had the energy for psychologically and emotionally and physically was to come in, do my radiation on my head and my leg, and leave. And they asked me if I wanted to see a nurse practitioner or somebody else, and I said no. I don't have the energy. I don't have the mental capacity today to deal with any of those interactions. And again, said that, my wife is my medical proxy. If something has to be dealt with, to talk to her. They said fine, brought me back to the table. They did the radiation on my brain and on my leg. And then on the way back out, three different staff members, from doctors to nurse practitioners, placed themselves between me and the door and forced interactions. And I kept repeating that I just want to leave, that I don't have the ability to deal with them. One lady went so far as she had some paperwork in her hand, and she started inquiring about medications that I was on. And I told her, whatever's on that paper, that's what I'm taking. And she wanted to know about the dosages. Whatever's on that paperwork, that's what we're doing. Well, she wanted me to verify all this information. I said, lady, please, I just want to go home. You can talk to my wife. She's my medical proxy. She deals with my medications. She deals with appointments. I've got enough to deal with just trying to survive. Well, she decided to keep pressing the matter. Finally, she follows me out to the waiting room where my wife was waiting, and then decides to interrogate her. And it's not even about all of my medications, it's about one. And she lectures me in front of my wife about how I'm supposed to take this medication, which we've already explained to her we're taking it exactly as she said it's supposed to be taken. But she would not let it go. And the more I started to explain that I just want to leave, that I have set forth a what seems to in my mind to be a rational boundary, the more that I'm sitting there and showing frustration and that my emotions are running high, she's getting more frustrated with me that I'm being irrational and I'm being a problem. Now I've been going, this is day 9. Today is day 9. I have gone 9 times. 8 of those times I have not had any interaction to any degree to this level. The absolute most that I've had is I asked for a sit down with my doctor, and it was done. The whole conversation was less than 3 minutes. But the one time that I set a boundary, the one time I said that I was having a problem, that's the one day that they decided to see just how far they could push me. And they provoked me from the moment I walked through that door. Now I'm going to file a formal complaint tomorrow against the individuals in the clinic. But the thing is, this is not a one-time issue. This is, I can go back to when I was in my early 20s, when I first got diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, and a doctor told me to do some research on a specific medication that he wanted me to put me on. There was about a dozen that he could have chosen from, but he wanted this one specific one. And I did some study on it, and I saw that the benefit was not that great. It was a brand new medication. They were still, coming out with new side effects to the medication constantly, and I was worried about those medications. And because I said that I was nervous about those medications, the doctor told me that if I did not take it, I was not welcome at that clinic. And to this day, I'm not allowed to go to that clinic and get any sort of treatment. I went to during the 6 months that I sought treatment for my primary tumor, not knowing it was cancer yet, I was turned away repeatedly. And when I was in New Albany, Mississippi at the emergency room, and I demanded that somebody take a look at my leg, because they were looking at everything but my leg, when my chief complaint was my leg was twice the size of the other and it was painful, and they ignored that. And the thing is that during that visit, if they had caught it, just looked at my leg, they would have known that I had cancer and I would have had a chance at survival. But they decided, when I demanded that somebody look at my leg, they kicked me out of that emergency room, told me I wasn't welcome back. This is a repeated issue, and I'm just curious to the people in the medical field, when somebody sets a boundary, is it your policy to do everything in your power to go against it? Or do you get some sort of sick, perverted sexual pleasure out of causing suffering to somebody who's in a lot of pain and having a lot of problems?